Okay, I have a request now for this one. Since I'm on the topic of what do you call it? References, little classes and things that I've been adding. One of the ones that I have in my other source code is this HTTP generic HTTP client, which I couldn't use before because I didn't. It uses my buffer class, but now I have my buffer class, so I think it should translate over. The only thing I'm thinking is might be using a function I wanted to take out of that buffer class, but I could find a different way to do it. There's nothing to this class really, so why don't I just copy it over into common. We'll call it this is generic HTTP header file. Everything there looks similar. It's TW instead of TS. So I get in the header file. Here. Somebody made this class and made it available online, and I have no idea who this is, but eventually we used this for some very simple sending and receiving bits of data through HTTP protocol, and there's really not much to it. There aren't any functions, and really it's all it is it's a very light wrapper over the WinINet base functions. That is, well, let me copy them over first. HTTP client. I don't know. I think it's going to probably have a TS in front. But if everything starts with TS, then it's, you know, I think I'm going to have to get out of that habit and even rename these. Because if everything starts with TS, then I got to take 3 letters to get to a 5. So I won't make that mistake this time. New item, HTTP client. Okay, empty file. And the header file visible to the outside world. This will go here for now anyway. Alright. Now I just need a standard thing to copy from. The year has gone up. Defines generic HTTP request. I think it's called the find function set. It's just functions. You get a handle to an internet, for instance. You'll see in a minute. it's just like the base, the base of like Windows has like the base functions, and then there's GDI plus or something. Well, similarly with the internet functionality, there's a base set of functions, and then some people have made more complicated things above that. Like MFC has a support, a similar support. In fact, I could just copy that one, but whatever. Now, so let's just take the one from over here. So we'll keep our friends. We'll keep this. And I'll put that at the top. Now I'll get rid of my name. Alright. Now there's one called, now see how these are colorized? HINet? That's because those are, there is such a thing. It'll show up. Yeah, this is going to be there. Oh, maybe it'll show up now. No. Easy to switch. More TWs. Okay. And then there's the this is the header. The non-header stuff goes in here. Over here. Don't need that. This is just for error messages. I think I may have deleted those in my last run at this. I knew there'd be a few. I'm just having a quick look through lists. It might even just compile, but let's have a look, see. Everything looks okay, so just a quick look. Oh, see, no, that's different. I don't have such a thing anymore. And I gotta open them and close them and stuff. This part of the syntax is the same. Okay, the split URL. The buffer class used to have, you can actually, I still, I commented it away, the declarations. Where's the buffer? I know it's, I must have put it in with something else. Oh, I see. It's a container. Now, there are a bunch of things in here I thought were unnecessary and really didn't belong. And actually, I don't think these others belong either. Read internet file and so on. It's just a buffer class. The reason this stuff wound up in here is because my friend Blake, who wrote this class, neglected to provide any interface for putting stuff in. You can get stuff out, but putting something in is pretty much impossible. So for every kind of data, right, that you might receive, like reading from a file or from the internet, you have to add a new function to the buffer class. I think a better solution is to define an interface for putting something in the buffer. See, here's for taking something out. Now, this is commented as only for experts, but essentially that this is the one that should be used. The problem is, with a buffer type thing, is that if you're going to pass data into it, you better be damn sure that it's the kind of data that this thing knows how to deallocate, right? Because at the end, when it dies, it deletes its buffer, it frees its buffer, right? So if I pass a local heap pointer in here, then it's not. That's why the experts bit. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't get freed. In fact, it'd probably just crash. What you could do is expose the allocator that this thing uses to the outside world, and ask the buffer. Well, no, usually you've got memory already, and you want to put it in. You don't want to do it second allocation. Not sure. I don't know. But anyway, I don't think we need those functions. These aren't even implemented. It's this thing here. Might as well put that here. Enable extended. Okay, now let's look at the header file. That's W's we don't want. That's, I don't know yet, but that's the one, that's mine. That is, well, where is it? Sort tutorials, okay. Tutorial, source 3, no. Alright. So now the idea of this, the way to use this class is, for the simplest case, you declare one of these objects, a generic client, and then you call this connect, give me like a web address, and then if you want to like read from the page, you say request of URI and give the universal resource lookup name and maybe give a different type of method. This uses what they call the get method by default, and then you call this response. No, I mean comment here. Don't use response. Well, why have I got it then if you're not supposed to use it? You call a query response and query response header, because what you get back from the server will be the data of the response and a header with some information that's not part of the data. That it might tell you something about what route it took or something, or how long, and that sort of thing. Statistics. So you never call this one. So you say request and then query response. It's pretty much that simple. When it works. When it doesn't work, it's not simple. But see, everything here is private. And the only public stuff, really, is that function, these three. This one we're not supposed to use. So if we're not supposed to use it, let's not use it. Make it private. Maybe something else useful. Now these are defined by this class. Type of method. Type of when there's get and there's post. Okay, two different types of ways to retrieve data from the internet. One being sort of synchronous and one being sort of asynchronous, I believe. So a post, it's like post message, and then you hang around and do check every now and again to see if you got a response. The other one, a get request, with the various ways of doing it. Request post method multi-parse form. Not sure what that is, but I only ever use the default. Everything's got defaults. When it's done its thing, you say close and everything's fine. I don't remember ever having to call this either. Oh, I never used the posting. The guy who wrote this class, Evo, had made a more like first there was the guy we stole it from, and then another person, Evo, cleaned it up a bit and got rid of most of the functions, and I can probably get rid of now most of these others. Get is good enough. And now for the CPP file. Okay, this gets an error description based on an error number. This is all commented out. I see. I had trouble with this local key and format message. I could probably fix that, but it doesn't matter. Request method, get method, post. So we won't use that. Connect. Oh yeah. I think you have to connect. Maybe not. Why does this just compile? Just the one file. Because it's easier to just run through it. These functions like internet attempt connect are the base. Oops. Okay. H internet, we're missing. I don't know if it might include buffer. Probably does. Oh, hang on a second. I do have common. I think we need WinINet or something. We'll need to add a lib. Well, I can take this and put it in common. There's already a lot of stuff included. It'd probably be best if there was a way to not include everything. To speed up the compiling. That is true. That is true. Seems like it might compile. If it, it's not. Okay, those are just warnings. I can fix those. Oh, yeah, it does use that stupid thing. But that's okay. I can just find out where the code for that is. I'll just make it not a member buffer. Alright, that's the one we want. This is under debug only. So. It's called HTTP query info. Make it static. Now, what does this do? Why did it need to be a buffer? Because we needed to resize something. Okay. And we use this buffer. So what we can do is use a malloc pointer. Oh, right. This is always available. I suppose. Oh, I see. This is an in-out 0. This could probably be no. So I'm going to put no here. It should still succeed. If insufficient buffer, then that's correct. Pvoid. That's how much we need. And this will already have the right number in it. And now it's returning that. pvBuff. So we got to return the buffer. Now this returns an error code of some sort. Bool. Well, how about let it return the buffer? To be freed by caller. There has to be an error here. This can't succeed with no buffer, obviously. So we can be sure that this is going to be false. We'll insert that even, but this should also be true. Oh, now I gotta use this. Oops. No. I gotta change my. It's gonna quit it, isn't it? My my search. I don't have a key left to use for search, so I use Alt F3. Pretty smart, huh? So every now and again, I close the compiler by accident, but I don't usually do searching within a file that much. Still, there's got to be a better key than that. Control F I use for find in file. Find. Sure, I'll find that. Oh, I'll use the same. This isn't. Is it NTSCon? No. No. Was there a knot there? Oh. Then that's an error. And apparently there'll be a string in that buffer. It could use the email. Please stir. That will ensure that gets freed in the end. David. Data, data. Now, there's some powerful. Oh, no, that's right. Connect. Oh, warnings. Okay, let me fix those. Conversion from short to U short. Signed unsigned. Actually, really, it's better form to do it this way. Trust me, it's true. Int to D word. Where's the int that should be a D word? D word PTR. Flags. That's this. So I see all those warnings. Okay, int to D word again. Oh, same, it's a similar line. Gee, maybe a macro would be in order. Size T to D word. Buff.internet reads fine. So we need this function, not as a member of buffer. Static taking an H internet. Now we could pass a buffer in or return line. It's probably best to pass a reference to a pointer. Size would have been given. Well, the buffer would have had the correct size, this size. So that's the. So we're going to pass in something already allocated. Okay? We don't need the reference. All right. That or UN, I don't know. How big is that? 1020. If you just use the stack, then maybe it needed to persist. More data equals size of that. Now reference has been passed in. I see. Okay, that we call buff. Now we just allocated it. Initially it was where was it? Oh, it's being used. Response of bytes. Alright, we'll just look at it. I want to get rid of the other one. Oh, I see, that was in the buffer class. Someone calls this function with a reference. Now I could use my TW buffer, right? It could still be a TS buffer, ref. Like it was originally. And I could do my head up reside. I think this is what it was. Right? And then we pass in here data, or just buffer. And whatever this will read something into it. So I have no way to get it. I gotta use P. I gotta use a regular malloc first. For the stack. Okay, now we pass in a buffer and the size of the buffer to internet read file, which now is going to call this PV SZ and it's going to be returned a value, possibly if this thing was too small, I guess. I assume that that's how it works. But we can use real. Make sure that this is a ref. Oh, I see. That might be shrinking it. This D word would be better. That won't. It'll read it in from here and then write it back out to the same DW. And that this here will reallocate this pointer, and this size and this pointer will remain in one-to-one correspondence. So, except that this now has to be a variable type of reference. You can't use a literal. Okay. Oops, mouse. Okay, there's a lot happening that you don't see immediately behind the scenes there, but the two functions are side by side, and you can see that PV and DW may both be altered upon return, but that doesn't require any extra freeing or not freeing because it's the same variable. Now, if B more data, where is this used? It's going to return true anyway, and this is another. It must be a member. It doesn't have an M. Oh, that's a Boolean ref. Okay, I see. Now buff was passed in here, and we can put this kind of memory into a buff. PV and DW. We'll do that above. We'll keep this the same. Oops. Just so it looks like what it was. So now this, although the internals are different, this works as far as the outside world is concerned. A buffer is passed in, a buffer structure, and it is returned, and this value comes true if there's more to read. Next. And see, it's not so easy to transplant these things. It's not always easy. Sometimes there's nothing to it. I pause this. Alright, more problems. Into D word. Into D word. Not enough finance script. Well, it's not a problem now. True Okay. It looks like a lot, but I think we're almost there. DW red. That's true. That went into there. We transferred it straight from this one into this. This, oh no, this is going to set to 0. We'll do that instead. No, but oh, I see. No, that's not. Oh, I see. It was a different variable. But I used the same variable. Okay. I don't think it needs to be 0. Hope not. What else? Query HTTP info. I think we've done this one. There's an underscore. Here. So I want to use the underscore version, which returns a pointer. Well, I can set it equal to this. This takes handle, info level, and a pointer to an index, and returns an allocated p void. Well, this part's all the same. Now what are we supposed to do? If there's an error, oh no, what was it? It was this buff head, which was passed in. Now the question is how big is that thing, and are we not returning it? Maybe this is supposed to be this. I like DW red. Set last there. We didn't worry about that before. We'll use this before. How do we know how big it is? Well, this was only used in a debug scenario. We need the length. So we gotta maybe pass in the buffer and retrieve the length, or we can pass in a TS buffer, and you can do that. That'd be best. How do we do that? We just pass this buff head straight in and let it do all the fixing up. It's probably good. Fair enough. It could return a bool, I guess. Okay. Here we mount it, and we get a value, right? Now we can do this two ways. I'm going to do it this way. It means an extra allocation, no big deal. We get DW red. Oh, but we don't need to return the buffer anymore. This could be bool. Okay, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Don't need that. All we're going to do is put the data in the buffer. Right. That just creates one assigned to here. Another allocation. I can declare. No, I can't declare. It's been passed in here. I could use that adopt, but I won't. Avoid that if possible. Okay, the other place where this is used. In the debug mode, checks for an error condition, and PV data is not used, doesn't even exist anymore, so that's fixed. It's going to say non-standard extension used. Oh god. Not a problem. Bracket. I assume that's a list. Yeah. Okay, I didn't want to put you through too much more pain, and just went ahead and fixed all of it. Well, I got it down to a good thing that compiles. Unreferenced local function. Great. So it compiles. Now, let's get rid of that warning. Let's comment this away. Maybe use it another day. Okay, so Shift F8 should compile. Nothing's including the header. And now, after wasting, let's see, an entire hour, at least you got to see a run through a code transplant. Well, next one, I'll actually use this thing.